What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Niner Sickness Podcast. I am your host, Niner Beto, on a Victory Monday. Let's freaking go. Victory Monday, baby. We defeated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we are looking forward on now playing on Thanksgiving in Seattle versus the Seattle Sea Chickens. We're going to talk about the game against the Buccaneers. We're going to be listening to some audio clips from certain experts tonight, and we're going to talk about what these experts are saying right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone. For those that have been watching the Monday Night Football, the Philadelphia Eagles just defeated the Kansas City Chiefs 21 to, I forgot what the Kansas City Chiefs number was, but they came late in the fourth quarter, took over the lead, and now beaten the Kansas City Chiefs. So the Eagles are 9-1. Kansas City fall to 7-3. Are the Eagles the real deal? We will find out in a few weeks. But they looked pretty damn good tonight. 21-17. Thank you, David. Appreciate that. How's everybody doing, man? How is everyone doing tonight? I hope everyone is having a fantastic evening. Thanksgiving is in 3 days? Thursday? 3 games on Thursday? Now, we all know that the important game of Thursday is the San Francisco 49ers defeating the Seattle Sea Chickens. Pete Carroll said that the little elbow bruise on Geno Smith, that he is okay, which, to be honest with you, I want to play Geno Smith. I want to beat Geno Smith and the Seattle Sea Chickens. I repeat, I do not want to face Drew Luck. Because when we beat the Seahawks, I don't want to hear excuses from Seahawk fans. Well, if Geno Smith wasn't hurt. Yeah. Talking about injuries, and I'm going to say hello to everyone in the chat in a minute. Talking about injuries, unfortunately in the victory yesterday, the 49ers did not leave unscathed. Unfortunately, Talanoa Hufanga suffered an ACL injury, and it was confirmed today by Kyle Shanahan that he'll be out for the year. What does that mean? Well, next man needs to step up. And who is that next man? It's going to be Jair Brown from Penn State. This kid came in replacement of Hufanga against the Bucs. Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers went immediately at him for a 41 completion that led up to a touchdown after a penalty they called on Fred Warner. But he redeemed himself by covering one of their best receivers and Mike Evans one-on-one, and he won that battle. When they brought Isaiah Oliver in because Ward got injured in that one play, they rushed Isaiah Oliver on a blitz. So that left Jair Brown open to defend Mike Evans. Tell me that Steve Wilkes does not trust this young man. If he did not trust this young man, I'm telling you right now, there's no way that he puts him on Mike Evans. My goodness. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Let me double check something real quick. I need to know why it's not. Give me a second. All right. So, can you guys still hear me okay? You guys are still able to hear me? All right, perfect. So let me go ahead and acknowledge all those in attendance, starting with Jimmy Perez. What's up, Jimmy Perez? Oops, where'd you go? Come back, Jimmy. Come back. Let me put you down here. Let me go ahead and give you the proper welcome. Let's see. We got Daniel Bree Sports. Welcome, sir. Welcome. Who do we got? We got Jesus in the house. What's up, Jesus? We got, let's see. We got JVC in the house. And how you doing, sir? Welcome to the channel. We got Roberto Davis in the house. Welcome. We got Royalty in the house. How you doing, my young sister, Dawn Dotson? Appreciate it. And yes, please follow her instructions. Please do not forget to smash that like button and wipe your feet. Also, please don't wow. You don't want them to subscribe to my channel? I think you meant please subscribe to his channel. It's all good in the hood. Let me see here. Who else do we have in here? We got David McNiner in the house. Right on, David. We got my boy John in the house. How you doing, John? Welcome. We got, look who it is. Long time no see. G8 Garage. How you doing? Welcome to the channel. Good to see you, my friend. We got Daniel Cantu in the house. Welcome. We're going to listen to a couple of audio clips of, are you guys familiar with Nick Wright from First Things First? Let me know in the comments if you guys are familiar with a gentleman, a so-called expert in Nick Wright in the show that he hosts of First Things First. Let me know if you guys are familiar with him. Give me a second. All right, let's see here. All right, let's see here. Got to make sure everything is working properly. All right, can you guys still hear me okay? Are you able to hear me okay? Let me know if you guys can still hear me, because somehow in my ear the sound went lower than it was earlier. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay in the chat. Welcome. Let me set up. Let me go ahead and set this up. Give me a second. Oh, they're on Thanksgiving break. Awesome. So I need confirmation real quick, guys. Somebody give me confirmation. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you guys hear me? Let me know. Testing 1, testing 2, testing 3. Can you guys hear me? Okay, perfect. Perfect. All right. So let's go ahead and listen. Hold on, guys. Let's see here.
Field in the Bucs 27-14. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Enjoy the audio bite.
As Brock delivers a perfect plex of a passer rating. 21 for 25, 333 yards, 3 touchdowns. Here's McCaffrey after the game.
There's always going to be critics. He knows that. Everybody in here knows that. And I like when he plays a little bit edgy with a chip on his shoulder. I kind of hope the critics just keep coming because it pisses him off. He plays really well.
How much did you enjoy that play? Criticism for Brock right now is that his teammates are doing all the work. Sometimes they'll say, "Well, it's just because Christian McCaffrey's on the team." But what's your opinion of that?
That's a horrendous statement. That's never been the case.
That's a horrendous statement. We should put that on our promos. Brew, did Brock Purdy silence the doubters?
Well, maybe we should ask hater number one. I mean, he's sitting across the table. Doubter number one. But no, before you go, first of all, I told you guys this was going to happen.
Take it back.
I told you this was going to happen. In fact, I think we can show it. Friday, my headline Friday, striking resemblance to me right in there.
Gonna win.
Half-baked show. Brock Cooks Baker, Niners roll.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, they were 12-point favorites.
Yes, that actually happened. So let me say a little something before we turn to our hater. Before someone across the table apologizes, bends the knee, repents, yells Iowa Mafia, begs for forgiveness, whatever you're going to do, Nick, let me get to a few things.
Please.
In a franchise that features arguably, not to me, not to you, but arguably, the GOAT,
greatest quarterback
Joe Montana,
and
another Hall of Famer, Steve Young.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy became the only quarterback in Niners history to have a perfect passer rating when throwing more than 20 passes.
Oh, yeah.
That's special.
Yeah.
And he did it, Nick, and you know this, against a good defense, a top 10 scoring defense. Top 10 scoring, Wilds. You can look at the yards and get get mad, but the top 10 scoring defense.
You think the Bucs have a good defense, bro?
They only give up 9 points. They're 9th in the league in points allowed. So that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. And it's about points.
Sure.
All right, and I don't want to hear, oh, he's got Christian McCaffrey.
Why not?
Oh, he's got Kyle Shanahan.
Why?
Oh, he's got Deebo Samuel and on, Ayuk and Kittle. Here's why not. Because which one of those guys is better than Jerry Rice?
None of them.
Which one of those guys is better than Terrell Owens?
None of them.
None of them. Yeah. So we don't hold it against Montana because he had Rice. We don't hold it against Young because he had both of those guys. Is Christian McCaffrey even better than Roger? I'm not sure he's better than Roger Craig.
All right, can I ask a question, bro? I don't know how long you're going to go.
I'm not that much longer.
Okay.
Not that much longer. All right?
Okay. Can I?
So what does Brock Purdy have to do?
Okay, I'll tell you.
He's such a hater.
Win the Super Bowl, but he can't win the Super Bowl now.
Got it.
That's
Can I answer?
We're at the 4:30
he has to lead a comeback.
Can't stand Nick Wright.
What you can't do is talk for both of us. So I'll say what I would like to see him do. But first, I'm actually going to give you another chance to talk because I am very curious because when he was in the midst of his 3-game losing streak, you were adamant and very clear. I am not calling Brock Purdy great. I am not saying he's any of these things. I'm not saying it. But so I'm just curious because this is the burden, Wilds, of being Mr. Consistency.
What is it?
is everyone knows where I stand, and you
I
guys,
don't think people doubt
you
where I
guys
stand.
are. Well, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I do the show with you.
Wiles has
hold it
been
to
the
the facts.
one.
He's stuck on
Wiles
the
has been the
facts.
one wavering.
So
not me.
So since you said, but I mean, you wavered a little. You wavered a little.
How?
Well, you
What
had
I
him as
waver?
MVP, and then you said he was out of the running. And my guess is in
didn't
an
I say,
hour,
I
you're
never
going to say he's
came
going to
off
be in
saying
the
the
MVP
fifth.
again.
I never said
But-
after week 5 he wasn't MVP. I never took that back.
Yeah.
Week 5 he was MVP in my book.
Yeah.
I never said, oh,
Yeah,
no,
and
he
then
wasn't.
and
No,
then
he
we had a
wasn't. I
month
said
where
he's
we
not
were like,
great.
is he going to get benched for Darnold? Now he's the MVP.
We-
That's
we-
fine. That's fine.
Not me,
So
not Shanahan, not McCaffrey. I don't know.
Here's the thing, because if the question is to me, did Brock Purdy silence me? The answer is no, and I will explain why. And now, to your point on the Bucs' allegedly excellent defense,
Well,
I know
since-
this. I know
just
since
dropped
the
the fact.
over the last 6 weeks of the season, we can show it to you. Their pass defense been the worst in the league, but I don't care about
What
that.
about points?
I actually don't care about that.
Okay.
Because I don't even think yesterday was the best game of Purdy's season. I thought he was better against the Cowboys. I know he didn't have the passer rating perfect, but it was like 144 against the Cowboys, and he had a damn
Better
near
defense. He faced the better defense, absolutely.
and under a bigger spot. And I thought against the Jags he was exceptional just a week ago. So I don't even know if this was his best game. Statistically, you
That's
could
saying
argue
a lot,
it was.
Nick.
Of course.
This wasn't his best
But
game.
that is not the question. Let me use an analogy that I think you might appreciate. Let's say you have a friend that's thinking about buying a fancy brand new sports car like the one Brew has. And you're like, hey, that's fun, fast. I worry a little bit about it in the rain and a lot
This
in the
guy's
snow.
a moron.
Guy's like, nope, it's going to be awesome.
Nick
And they're
Wright
on the
is a
open road
moron.
and the sun's shining like, this car's awesome. And they
All right, so I'm going to pause it for a second, and we'll come back to it. Nick Wright from First Things First obviously doesn't like Brock Purdy. For whatever his reasons are, he's a big Kansas City Chiefs fan. His so-called quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, who he idolizes, lost to the Philadelphia Eagles in Kansas City. At home, they lost to the Eagles. So I don't understand, honestly, and we're going to talk about the Buccaneers game, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Seattle game if you guys hang with me long enough. But I just don't understand the hatred for Brock Purdy. I don't understand why these so-called experts think that Brock Purdy is just a system quarterback. Why is it that he is not getting the credit that he deserves because he was Mr. Irrelevant? Why should a draft position dictate who you are as a positional player? Wilson from the New York Jets was benched yesterday. This is the second time he has been benched as a starting quarterback for the New York Jets. They did it last year, and they went ahead and did it again this year, right? So they benched him. He was the second pick overall. It was Trevor Lawrence, then it was Zach Wilson going to the New York Jets. Let me ask you guys a question. If Brock Purdy would have been drafted second overall, if Brock Purdy would have been instead of Zach Wilson, if it would have been Brock Purdy, the one that was drafted second overall, and Zach Wilson was drafted in the 7th round where Purdy was, this whole narrative and hatred towards Brock would be different. Everybody would be saying, wow, Brock Purdy, the second pick overall in the first round, is doing amazing. He's having a career season, MVP. They'll be talking everything about Brock because he was the second overall if he would have been picked there. But because because he was taken in the 7th round. Pick 262, Mr. Irrelevant. All of a sudden, he is not good. All of a sudden, if you talk about a MVP type of season that Brock is having, it sounds like it's ludicrous. How can you mention a MVP season towards a 7th round quarterback? Why? Why should a player be penalized for the spot where he was drafted? It makes absolute no sense to me. I don't care if you were first overall or if you were the last pick in the draft. Once you are on a team, what can you do to make the team around you better? Ever since Brock Purdy took over and became the quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers against Miami when Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt, he began to play exceptionally well. He won all the games. The only game he lost was the game that he did not finish against Philadelphia in the NFC Championship game. Then he gets, because of that injury, people during the offseason were questioning his ability to play as good as he did in 2022. Is his arm ever going to be the same? Is he going to be worse because of the injury? When is he able to be coming back on the field? How long is it going to take for Brock Purdy to heal? All these negative thoughts. Now, I'm not saying that there were not legitimate concerns. I'm not saying that. They were. We did not know which way Brock Purdy was going to go due to the injury. So I'm not mad at people questioning the health part. That is natural. But what I am questioning is, now that Brock Purdy has shown the world that he can play football, people still don't believe that he can get us to the Super Bowl. Now, did he have a bad stretch in 3 games? I don't know if he did. He didn't win them. But I can argue this, guys. Out of those 3 losses, the Browns, the Vikings, and the Bengals, he only had 1 bad game. Now, he lost all 3. Or the team lost all 3. But Brock Purdy only had 1 bad game from those 3 losses. Sure, he turned over the ball at crucial times against Minnesota. He turned the ball over at crucial times against the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm not taking that away from Brock Purdy. But the game that he struggled the most was against the Cleveland Browns. Kyle Shanahan had a game plan surrounding Deebo Samuel for that particular defense. Deebo Samuel gets hurt. It kind of throws off what Kyle had planned. Trent Williams gets hurt. Things change, and they change pretty fast. So Purdy struggled. For those that say, well, what happens if he falls behind? Can he come back and win a game? Well, if you guys remember that Cleveland game, Brock Purdy was able to muster enough plays to move the Niners down the field, to put Jake Moody in position to win the game on a field goal. Brock Purdy, even though he was struggling against the Browns, he was able to make enough plays to move the Niners in field goal position to win the game. Unfortunately, Jake Moody missed the kick. Otherwise, we will be 8-2. Now, the Vikings, it was a little bit of a meltdown on all areas. Defensively, bad tackling, players dropping balls. Purdy had his part in it. The Bengals, you had Joe Burrow starting to feel, and I feel bad for Joe Burrow getting hurt, but he started to feel his feet underneath him from the first injury. He started to play well. Chase was playing well. Those boys were playing good. And the Niners were not getting blown out until, yes, Brock Purdy made some crucial mistakes. But tell me which quarterback doesn't throw interceptions? Everybody likes Josh Allen, right? Everybody likes Patrick Mahomes. How many interceptions do they have? How many interceptions does Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen have throughout the year? Let's see. Because a lot of times we don't want to give Brock Purdy enough credit. We just don't. All right, here we go. Hold on for a second. Tonight, Patrick Mahomes stats. Let's go here. All right, so Patrick Mahomes, the Super Bowl guy, he has 17 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. 8 interceptions and 17 touchdowns. He's attempted 334, well, that's actually his career, but, hold on. 334 attempts. He has completed 229. His comp is 68.6, and his rating is 96.7. That is Patrick Mahomes. All right, now let's go a little bit to Josh Allen. I'm going to make this quick. But I want you guys to understand where we're at with Brock Purdy. I don't think Brock Purdy gets enough credit for what he's accomplishing on this team. I don't think he gets enough credit. We got Josh Allen. All right. So he has attempted 382 attempts, completed 266, 69.6, and his rating is 97.6. He has thrown 22 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. That is your boy, Josh Allen. Okay. 2 guys that a lot of people like to consider elite quarterbacks. People are even putting Jalen Hurts in that conversation, right? Jalen Hurts, he's an elite quarterback. At least that's what I'm hearing. He has attempted 305, completed 210. He has a 68.9 and a rating of 97.0. He has thrown 15 touchdowns and 8 interceptions throughout the year. Now, let's look at our boy, Brock Purdy. Brock, the 7th round quarterback that was taken at the 262 spot. What are his stats? Okay, so he's attempted 275, completed 193, top of 70.2, a rating of 115.1. He has thrown 18 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. And he already has 62 yards up to date. So when people want to talk about Patrick Mahomes, and again, I'm not saying that Brock Purdy is a Patrick Mahomes or a Josh Allen, but what Brock Purdy is doing this year in this system with Kyle Shanahan is amazing. It is. It is amazing what he's doing. He is not only managing, as people like to call it, or doing what Kyle asks of him, but when things break down, he is able to go off script and make plays to advance the ball, get first downs, or even get a touchdown. Like that throw to Brandon Ayuk yesterday for 76 yards was amazing. Now, people still say, well, Brock Purdy, he's not tall enough. He's not your typical prototype quarterback. He don't have a strong arm. People have said, well, one person said, and many people agreed, he is a dink and dunk quarterback. Last week against the Jags in Jacksonville, he was in the pocket. A defender was right in his face. He did not have the opportunity to step in to his throw because the defender was right there. He got the ball in a perfect spiral to George Kittle for the touchdown. This week, or yesterday, he goes to the opposite side of the field and he throws a beautiful spiral like a bullet or a coming out of a cannon right to Brandon Ayuk in stride for a 76-yard touchdown. I think the ball was in the air for 41 yards. What more does Brock Purdy need to do to convince the critics that he is above a game manager? What does he need to do to convince that he is above game manager? I am sick and tired of hearing that if you face a Patrick Mahomes, if you face a Josh Allen, can he win a game? Why can't... I want you guys to tell me. I'm going to pretend that I'm an ignorant that don't know football. Convince me why you believe, and I'm not talking about you guys in the comments, but that you guys will be the one answering. Those that watch this video later on and you want to leave in the comment, tell me why you think that Brock Purdy cannot win a Super Bowl with this team. I want to know. What is Brock Purdy lacking? He has the arm talent. He has the ability to go off script and do what he needs to do to get the Niners in position to win. He's athletic enough to move the ball with his feet. He is smart enough and intelligent enough to scope the defense, to make the proper adjustments, to read and able to process quickly what's going on in front of him. This kid does not get paranoid. He does not get afraid of contact. He's not distracted by these big defensive ends coming at him. He is laser focused on getting the ball to his playmakers. The defense have not been playing up to par. The Niners defense yesterday struggled a little bit. Yes, they got 2 sacks towards the end of the game, but for the most part, they didn't break. They bent a lot. It was a bend but don't break type of day for the San Francisco 49ers. Now, a lot of Niner fans felt that, oh my God, that second touchdown by the Buccaneers that was scored that put them 14. People began to panic on Twitter. This game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, ladies and gentlemen, was never in jeopardy. It was never in jeopardy. The Niners were on cruise control throughout the whole game. Did it get closer than it should have? Yes. But were the Niners threatened to maybe lose the game against Tampa Bay? Absolutely not. Sometimes when you have a lead, coaches tend to take the foot off the pedal and just kind of coast. But if need to be, they can put that foot right back on that pedal and take care of business. There was no part of yesterday's game that I felt the Niners were in jeopardy of losing the game. Brock Purdy was able to distribute the ball to McCaffrey, to Debo, to Ayuk, Kittle. This kid is special. Brock Purdy is special. He had a perfect game. I mean, we know he's not Joe Montana and Steve Young right now. And yes, call me what you want. Right now, we know he's not a Montana or a Young. Can he be? Only time will tell. I've been a fan since '78. I've been watching the Niners before Joe Montana and Bill Walsh were part of the team. I seen Joe Montana come in, sit behind Steve DeBerg. I seen Joe Montana throw multiple interceptions in an NFC championship game, which we won. And I seen Joe Montana struggle in the beginning of his career. But today, because of all the body of work that Joe Montana did, we know that he is one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game of football. But I can tell you that when he was struggling in the beginning of Joe Montana's career, and if somebody would have told me that Joe Montana would have been a Hall of Famer, I would have said, you're crazy. We don't know that. But today, we know Joe Montana and Steve Young are Hall of Famers because of what they put on the field. All I'm saying is, I am not going too ahead or staying in the past. I'm not also going to be prisoner of the moment. I'm not going to be prisoner of the moment. I know that he has to continue to show us more, but what Brock Purdy is doing, this is only, if I'm not mistaken, yesterday's game, he completed his 17th game. He has finally 1 year, 1 full year under his belt. And he's playing this type of football. Imagine what he will look like in another year. What would he look like in another year? Now, people say, well, wait a minute. Once Brock gets paid and he doesn't have the Avengers around him as a supporting cast, will he be the same Brock? We don't know. We don't know. People sometimes say, too, well, if Brock Purdy was on the Bucs team, could he do better than Mayfield? Or if Brock Purdy was on the Eagles, could he be better than Jalen Hurts? I don't understand those type of comparisons or questions. He is not on the Eagles. He is not on the Bucs. Brock Purdy is on the San Francisco 49er roster with Kyle Shanahan and a mastermind play caller with weapons, if you want to call them the Avengers, with Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, etc., etc., etc. It's about, can he win a Super Bowl with this roster? It doesn't matter what he can or can't do with another team. He is not part of any other team. He is not Patrick Mahomes. He is not Josh Allen. He is not Joe Burrow. He's not the kid from the Chargers. He is Brock Purdy, the quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers. He has done enough to show me that I can go into a game in a hostile environment and we can win with Brock Purdy. We're gonna see him play against the Ravens. We're gonna see him play in Philadelphia. Philadelphia just went into Kansas City and beat the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes in their house. Now, people are really worried about Brock Purdy. People need to be worried more about our pass rush. Can we do better? We started to put the pressure towards the end, but can we do better? Now, we lost Talanoa Hufanga for the year. That's going to be a big blow. But I think this is a perfect opportunity to see and develop the young Jair Brown. Sometimes tragedy can be a blessing in disguise for another person. I'm not saying it's not a blessing for Talanoa Hufanga. I feel bad for him. He's going to be missed. He's a great safety. But it's all about the next man up. Can Jair Brown come in and play well with number 31? We're going to find out. We're definitely going to find out on Thursday night, Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone, by the way. I hope you spend it with your loved ones. Enjoy the 3 games that will be going on Thursday. The 49ers play the last game of the night. And we're going to be playing in Seattle against the Seattle Seahawks, who lost to the Rams. I don't know what it is about the Rams, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what it is about the Rams. But the Rams, for some reason, have the Seattle Seahawks number. Now, I don't like the Rams. Let's say it together. The Rams are the same old sorry blank Rams. Aren't they? But if there was a team that I wanted to lose yesterday, it was definitely the Seattle Seahawks. The Rams are not a threat. They're not a threat. Seattle was right on our heels. They were 6-3. If they would have won, they would have been 7-3. The Niners and Seahawks will be fighting for first place on Thanksgiving Day. But because of the Rams, Seattle fell to 6-4. Now, we need to win this game against Seattle to win our division and to take control of the division. But is it a must win? Absolutely not. I think it's less pressure on the 49ers now that the Seattle are 6-4. But I think the Niners and Kyle Shanahan will be poised and will go into Seattle and handle their business. I don't know about you guys. When I see Brock Purdy take the field, I feel confident. When I see Brock Purdy take the field, I feel confident that we will win the game with him. Even though we won a lot of games with Jimmy Garoppolo, I didn't feel the same. I didn't feel confident with Jimmy. I feel confident with Brock. I don't know about you guys, but I feel confident with Brock leading these guys out on the field. This offense is just surgical. It is doing things that I haven't seen in a while. Now, if it wasn't for that mishap with special teams yesterday, it got a little closer than it should have. If it wasn't for that first play they went at Jair Brown, and then the penalty they called on Warner, the Bucs wouldn't got close enough to score that second touchdown. They would have had only scored 7. That game was never close. It was never close. I just want to say hello to my boy Israel Ortiz is in the house. We got Randy Daytona in the house. Welcome. We got Javier Rios in the house. Welcome. We got Ronnie Montoya in the house. Welcome. Welcome. Appreciate you guys very much. Let's see here. We got Imperial 408 in the house. Welcome. Just imagine we have a cheap quarterback for 3 more years and only getting 8 each game. Yep. People don't understand that we can have the Hargraves of the world because of Brock Purdy. We might even be able to extend Chase because of Brock Purdy. But that's a whole conversation for another day. Steve Young struggled in Tampa. Yeah. Steve Young didn't even go to the NFL. He went to the, I forgot what it was called, and then he came to the NFL. He struggled. He was traded. Bill Walsh saw something in Steve, brought him into the fold. He studied and watched Joe Montana for many years, and then the rest is history. But Joe Montana struggled. Steve Young struggled. Brock Purdy will struggle. But everybody wanted to know, how will Brock Purdy deal with adversity? That's all I kept hearing. When Brock Purdy was not losing no games, he was on a winning streak. Everybody was saying, well, let's find out what happens when he loses a game. Can Brock Purdy bounce back? What is going to be mentally going on Brock Purdy's head if he loses a game? Well, ladies and gentlemen, he didn't lose a game. He lost 3 in a row. 3 games in a row he lost. He faced adversity. He threw 5 interceptions in those 3 losses. He was criticized for a lot of things by social media. And what did this kid do? He went into the bye, not even tripping. He comes out against a very good Jacksonville Jaguars who are on a 5-game winning streak, who also, by the way, was on a bye and rested, playing at their house. Their defense were getting the ball from the offense. They had a lot of takeaways. Everything was going for Jacksonville. Their defense was good. Their offense was good. They were on a 5-game winning streak. And what did Brock Purdy do? And the 49ers. They went in there and reminded a lot of us, did you guys give up on us because we lost 3 games in a row? We are still the same dominant, good coached, great roster San Francisco 49ers. And they went into Jacksonville and made a statement and handled their business. They handled their business. And they shut up a lot of the naysayers. Oh, the Niners lost 3 games in a row. Are they going to miss the playoffs? What is happening? Everything's tumbling down with the 49ers. Great teams lose games. Did you guys honestly thought that we were going to go undefeated? Now, I'm not saying what you wanted them to do. If you know football and you really appreciate the game of football, you will know that it's hard to go undefeated. Teams have done it. But out of all the years that football has been around, there's only one team that has won it all, that has gone undefeated. And those were the 73, I believe, Miami Dolphins. It hasn't happened since. It's hard to win games in the NFL. So the Niners went on a 3-game losing streak. But these guys are the same people. And people bring Steve Wilkes from the booth, put him on the field. Do you guys know the reason why we were able to play better defense against the Jags? It had nothing to do with Steve Wilkes coming down from the booth. I don't care what you tell me. It had nothing to do with Steve Wilkes coming from the booth to the field. Why we were able to play better defensively. Did miraculously, by Steve Wilkes coming from the booth to the field, fix all those missed tackles? Do you know what? Do you want to know? If for those already know, you know. But the real reason why we were able to make adjustment and what adjustment we made, people want to give credit to the adjustment of bringing Steve Wilkes. Fine. Does it hurt? No. Is that the reason why we're a 2-game winning streak? No. The reason why is because they removed Isaiah Oliver out of there and they put Lenore in his spot. Isaiah Oliver was a dinosaur back there. I forgot what he ran, but it wasn't fast. Lenore is much faster. They made that one, in my opinion, that was the adjustment that got us on a roll of winning. Not Steve Wilkes coming from the booth onto the field. That is ludicrous. That's the reason why we're winning now. Stop it. Stop it. It isn't the reason why we are winning. Does it hurt? I don't know. But is it the reason why we are winning games because of that adjustment? No, the correct adjustment was removing Isaiah Oliver and putting Lenore in his place. That's why those adjustments were the reason why we are on a 2-game winning. So let's give credit where credit is actually due. Hold on, let me read this real quick. Brock Purdy is the best quarterback we have had since Young. I would say Garcia. I would say since Garcia, but that's that's a call that can go either way. I think Jeff Garcia was a great quarterback, but I'm not mad at that statement either, Roberto. Absolutely not. Javier says 1 year with 3 losses, not bad at all. There you go. There you go, my friend. Perfect statement. Brock is cheap. Okay, I think I read for 3 more years and only getting better each game. And that, my friend, is 100% correct, Ronnie. It seems to me, and obviously it seems to Ronnie and many of you, that Brock Purdy is getting better every game. And that is awesome. That should be an encouragement. Your QB is getting better every freaking game. Oh, hold on. Before I read that, thank you very much, Don. Love your tree. I appreciate that very, very much. I have that in my office. Armstead, a beast. He probably looking at least a sack a game going forward. Wilkes can be better, but has been really good. There was a stat that was out there about Steve Wilkes and what he has accomplished so far this year. We lose 3 games, guys. Guys, listen. We lose 3 games in a row. Our defense were kind of suspect. We were mistackling. We were not getting to the quarterback in the sense of sacks. And suddenly, a lot of Niner fans wanted to fire Steve Wilkes. Make that make sense to me. We struggle in 3 games. It doesn't go the way we wanted it to go. Our defense was a little suspect. We are not able to move the ball offensively. But yet, let's fire Steve Wilkes. I don't understand why when things don't go accordingly the way they were scheduled to go, we have to fire somebody. Now, we beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. They only scored 3 points. The Bucs only scored 14. In the last 2 games, 2 teams have scored a total of just 17 points against this defense. But yet, the idea of firing Steve Wilkes was said. I don't understand. And make that make sense to me. Please make that make sense to me, because I just don't understand why you would want to fire someone because we lost 3 games. To Hufanga have to recover 3 months. I thought he was out for the year, which I guess it is out for the year. No, 3 months. We're November, December, January. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that makes him out for the year. Prayers for Hufanga and his family. Hufanga, don't lose your spirit, man. Stay strong, my friend, and recover and do your rehab. Do what you got to do and come back next year stronger. Who knows? Maybe next year it'll be Hufanga and a more seasoned Jair Brown ready to rock and roll. We shall see. I think Kyle is barely scratching the surface on his play calling. Kyle is able to finally open up his playbook with a quarterback that he's been wanting like forever. He thought that answer was in Trey Lance. So they went for it. You can't be mad at that. For those that are like, well, Trey Lance failed. Well, Zach Wilson was taken 1 spot higher. He's failed in New York. Trevor Lawrence, to me, is the only one that looks like that he's a good quarterback. You got Zach Wilson, trash. Trey Lance, we don't know what he's going to be, but we know he's not better than Brock Purdy. At least I do. You got what's his name over there with the Bears? He's all right. And then you got the moron with New England, Mac Jones. That class, other than Trevor Lawrence, is pretty bad. But everybody wants to be mad at the 49ers for drafting Trey Lance because we gave up 2 number ones for him. But nobody wants to get mad at the Jets. Nobody wants to get mad at the Bears for Justin Fields. Nobody wants to get mad at the New England Patriots for Mac Jones. The Niners found Brock Purdy. Did they get lucky? Maybe. So, yes, we gave up 2 number ones to get Trey. Yes, Trey did not work out. Yes, we traded Trey for a 4th round pick. Who does that? Who gives up 2 number ones and just gets a 4? Who cares? We were, during that whole process, didn't the Niners go to the NFC Championship game twice? Don't we got a quarterback that is playing out of his mind right now? Aren't we 7-3 going into the game against Seattle? We have our quarterback. Doesn't matter the whole screw up with Trey Lance. Put that behind you. A lot of the haters of Brock Purdy are Trey Lance lovers. That's the truth. I love Trey Lance. I wanted Trey Lance to come to be drafted by the Niners. I was stoked when the Niners called his name on draft day. I bought his jersey. But when I saw Brock Purdy play against Miami, I said, oh my God. Did we just find a quarterback in the 7th round? All right, Niner Beto. Don't go ahead of yourself. He had a good game against the Miami Dolphins, but they have no film on him. He was just thrown into the game. Now he's going to play Tampa Bay last year. They're going to have a whole week of film on Brock Purdy. He's playing against the GOAT. And what did Brock Purdy do? Just kick the rear end of the GOAT. Matter of fact, he took the GOAT for a walk. And he was winning games all the way until he got hurt. And even though I still love Trey Lance, I don't love him at Dallas. I don't care. He better not be successful in Dallas. Go somewhere else and become a Hall of Famer. I don't care. Not in Dallas. But I moved on from Trey Lance. We found our guy. It doesn't matter where we found him. We found him in the 7th round, but he's playing our type of football. He was mentioned today in the same list of Joe Montana and Steve Young with that 58.3 rating. So, please, don't stop hating. Please stop hating on Brock Purdy, man. Give him a chance. Just because you're rooting for Brock Purdy doesn't mean that you hate Trey Lance. It doesn't mean you turn your back on Trey Lance. Listen, I love Brock Purdy. But I support the logo. See the SF logo right there, tattooed on my hand? I support the logo right there, SF. Not the name behind the jersey. I love the names, particularly when they're doing everything to help us win, but I support the logo. When Joe Montana was traded to the Kansas City Chiefs, I was not happy with that. Many Niner fans were not happy with that. But I never wavered. I never supported Kansas City. Oh, now I have two teams that I support. I support Kansas City in the AFC, and I support my Niners. And no, I remained a Niner. All right, who's next? Steve Young? Let's go, Steve. I love Joe Montana. I wish him the best. Let's go, Steve. Saddle up and let's go win games, because now you are my quarterback of this team. I was rooting for Trey Lance. He couldn't cut it. Brock Purdy took over. He won the job fair and square. Let's go. You know what, Trey Lance, I wish you the best in life, but let's strap on, Brock Purdy. Put on your saddle. Let's ride. I'm going to support my quarterback under center, Brock Purdy. I just don't understand why other fan bases can't do the same. Why can't you support Brock Purdy? Gonna head out, Niner family. Gonna spend time with my husband. Much love, Niner. Good night. Tell your husband I said thank you for sharing you on my live. And tell your two beautiful girls that I said good night. Ariel and Jayla. Tell them I said good night. Thank you, Don, once again for always being part of the show. Kyle will use Mitchell more in RPOs. Shanahan going to get fancy with it. Just watch. We'll see what happens. I think that Kyle used more of Elijah Mitchell in this game to get back at Grant Cohn. Grant Cohn asked him a question. Now, I don't know if you guys heard about the question that Grant Cohn asked. I don't think it was a bad question about why is he using Elijah and not Jordan Mason. And Kyle said, because Jordan Mason is number 3, and the first 2 running backs would have to get hurt in order for Jordan Mason to move up the rank. And the next thing you know, yesterday, you saw a lot of touches for Elijah Mitchell. I don't know. That's just my take. Bent said, we need K. Williams type of blitzer. Yeah, I miss K. Williams. When he left to Denver, I was a little butthurt. That guy is small, but that dude was a great slot corner. Now, the blow was a little easier because Jimmy Ward was able to handle that spot enough where the blow was. But now when we got Isaiah, how many of you all of a sudden remembered K.Y. Williams by the play of Isaiah Oliver? You know what I mean? I did. Yep. Brock Purdy is doing what he needs to do to win games. He's explosive. He's creative. He does things on his own. He follows and runs Kyle's system to the T. He crosses his T's and he dots his I's. It is fun to watch football with, at least for me, it's fun to watch football with Brock Purdy under center than it ever was with Jimmy Garoppolo. Sometimes we get spoiled. We want to, because, where we're at today, like, it's not enough to make it to the NFC Championship game. We got to win it all. And I understand the objective each year is not just to make it to the NFC Championship. I understand that. The objective is to make it to the Super Bowl and win it. That is the main goal for all 32 teams. Is to make it to the Super Bowl and win it. But the accomplishment of able to go to 2 back-to-back championship games, 3 out of the last 4, is amazing within itself. How many of you forgotten the Chip Kellys of the world? How many of you guys forgotten the Jim Tensulas of the world, the Mike Nolans, the Mike Singletary coaches of the world? Do you guys remember those games? Do you remember the embarrassment of being a Niner fan during that time? Always losing? Not only losing, but getting our ass kicked? I remember those all too well. So when my team wins double-digit games every year, when my team makes it to the NFC Championship 3 out of 4 times, even though they did not win a Super Bowl yet, it's a little disappointing that we haven't won chip number 6, of course. But I am not going to deny that we are a very relevant team, and we are playing. We have a great roster, a great head coach, a great GM. We have something special in San Francisco / Santa Clara. How many teams would give anything to make it to the NFC Championship game? Forget about the Super Bowl. See, for us, it's Super Bowl or bust. But for some other teams, if they are honest with themselves, they're just trying to get it. They're just trying to get to the NFC Championship game, one step closer to the Super Bowl. But because we have been to the championship so many times, that's not good enough anymore for us. It's all about Super Bowl or bust. But you can't take away that this is a very, very good team. Be proud of your San Francisco 49ers. The Niners are kicking ass. The Niners are doing what they need to do. Purdy's development is moving along nicely. That's what I'm saying, bro. Every game, he's getting better. We're 7-3. Yes, we lost 3 in a row, but we're 7-3 going into the game against Seattle. Let's remain healthy. Let's remain healthy. That is and should be our main concern. Can the Niners remain healthy? We already lost, unfortunately, Hufanga for the rest of the year. Let him be the last person that we lose for that extent of the time. We might lose a player here and there for a few games like we did with Trent and Debo. That sucks as well, but at least you understand that they'll be back in a few games, and we should get back where we need to be. But when you lose someone like Hufanga, that one hurts. But it's all about Jair Brown. Step up. Let's step up, Jair. I mean, the way that he recovered from that blow when he gave up that big play, that was amazing adjustments for that kid. He's a rookie. And able to get an interception to seal the game was amazing. Yes, they are a solid team. Although they just lost their running back, Kenneth Walker III. We'll see if he plays on Sunday or not. Geno Smith is dealing with an elbow issue. They have 2 studs at receivers over there. Bobby Wagner found the fountain of youth. At least he's playing that way. They got 2 studs at corners. Their rookie corner is playing with his hair on fire. And they're getting to the quarterback with the addition of Williams from the Giants. But our team is better. Seattle is solid. but the Niners are better. If the Niners play their type of football, aggressive on defense, aggressive on offense, special teams cannot have a brain fart like they did yesterday against Tampa. We should win that game easily. They struggled with the Rams. Think that for a moment. They were beating the Rams pretty much for the 3 quarters. And they let the Rams come back. Without Cooper Kupp. I think Cooper Kupp got hurt and was out early in the game. They don't have a running game. The only good receiver is their rookie. Matthew Stafford was struggling, and they lost to the Rams yesterday by a point. They missed the winning field goal. I am confident if the Niners play their style of football, I want the Niners to play the way they play the Jags on Thursday. If they play defensively wise, if they play the way they played against the Jags defensively, it will be over for Geno Smith. If we can just swarm Geno Smith, get in his face, put pressure. I want him to see Chase. I want him to see Bosa. I want him to see Armstead, Hargrave. The beautiful thing about having 2 studs on the outside and Chase Young and Nick Bosa is that they're so fast and they push the pocket. They come in so fast that they force the quarterback to step up in the pocket. And when the quarterback step up in the pocket, you got a monster like Eric Armstead and Hargrave waiting to say hello. Say hello to my little friend.
Say hello to my little friend.
So, guys, I'm going to call it a night. It's been about an hour and 20 minutes. You guys are amazing. Thank you for tuning in and hanging out with your boy Niner Sickness. I pray that each and every one of you enjoy a happy, beautiful Thanksgiving with your loved ones, your family. Enjoy all 3 games. I believe, if I am not mistaken, and I'm going to double check just so that I don't sound like a moron. Let's see, week 12. It'll be the first game at 9:30 Pacific Standard Time is Green Bay at Detroit. Second game is the Washington Commanders at the Dallas Cowboys. And then the game of the week, the San Francisco 49ers will kick off at 5:20 Pacific Standard Time. Niners visiting the Seattle Seahawks. Eating your turkey and watching the Niners beat up on a turkey. Let's go. Let's effing go. The Niners are favorite by 6.5 points. Okay? We're playing Seattle at home, at their house. And the Niners, Vegas has the Niners favorite, 6.5. Let's go and handle our business. Play Niner football defensively, offensively, and special teams. We will be fine. By the end of the night, we should be 8-3. And then we face the freaking Eagles, who just beat Kansas City in Kansas City. Ooh-wee. That's going to be fun. All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. Appreciate each and every one of you. Have a wonderful Monday night. Take care. Have a blessed rest of the week. Enjoy Thanksgiving. And I'll see you when I see ya. Be blessed. Remember, Jesus loves you. I am your boy, Niner Beto. Peace. Go Niners for life. Orale.